Time for game number 2.
Presented by Treasure.
Silhouette Mirage is a side-scrolling action game by Treasure. If you might know Treasure, who did Mischief Makers, is probably their most well-known game, or Ikaruga, Gunstar Heroes, McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure. This is very similar to Ikaruga in that it uses a 2-color system, red and blue, where you have your different abilities, different shots do different things. So we'll go ahead and get the game started here. We do allow turbo for this game, so I'll be using turbo. I have a little Bomberman turbo controller. So timing starts, we're old school with this game, and timing starts at a character control, so it's a little bit from now here. And timing starts right after she says, "Let's go." So this was the very first game I picked up speedrunning in 2006, although back then I was playing the PlayStation 1 version. This game was released on both the Saturn and the PS1, and it was the later PS1 version that was released in the US by Working Designs. And I found it in a Game Informer magazine, and just kind of fell in love with it from there. And I need that enemy to come back on screen, please. I need you to stay still so I can punch you for your money. There it is. So here we are collecting money from the enemies so we can buy a weapon in the next area. We need to get 900 money, as you can see at the top left-hand corner. Top left-hand corner also has our health bar and our mana bar, spirit bar. Could you let me down, please? Thank you. So these enemies here are Mirage type, which means they are destroyed by the Silhouette type. Mirage being red or pink, and Silhouette being blue or kind of purplish blue. And our character, depending on which way she's facing, can do either shot. The plot of this game is very weird because Treasure likes its weird plots. You're the messenger of justice. The enemies think you're the messenger of destruction. A long time ago, the world was split into the 2 attributes, and they've been warring ever since, and it's your job to fix the world and get it back to the way it was. Or is it? I'd like that money, please. Want that money? Okay, 638 after the first area is pretty good. Or after the first section is pretty good. We need 900. So we can just go down here and reset the enemies. So what happens when you hit the enemies with the same syllable attribute that they are? You drain their spirit, or they drain your spirit if they're hitting you with the same attribute. So some of the changes if you pick up the PS1 version, the US version, you'll find some changes that were made to it to make it more of a difficult game. the change that all of your weapons will drain your spirit, which is very annoying in that version. It basically makes all weapons except for one inviolable to use. I just pressed the B button instead of the A button. Good job, self. I have to do this shop again. There we go. Now we have our level 6 sloth weapon, level 6 Sarosa, and it's going to be the weapon that we use the rest of the game. Along with weapons just draining your spirit in the US version, they made it so that when you attack most enemies, you'll drain their spirit back from them. Although this doesn't work on certain enemies, including most of the endgame bosses. And that was a boss, by the way. So there's technically a third type of enemies as well called neutral enemies. Neutral enemies like that walker there and a few others we'll be seeing later on can only be damaged by reflecting shots back at them. Reflectors on the A button. B button is your shot button, C button's your jump. That was another boss, by the way. Bosses in the first part of the game are very easy because they don't expect you to have this weapon on you. But that's why that shop is a secret shop. Area 1 has been completed, and we're moving on to Area 2, which is my favorite area of the game. Also one of the prettiest areas of the game, and a good show of the Saturn's 2D capabilities as why am I stopping there? I stopped at this one. It's not like I was just playing this game yesterday or anything. As the PS1 version doesn't have the same level of background fidelity as the Saturn version has. With the reflections of the buildings and the extra layer of buildings as well. Another boss. If you let that battle go on too long, his armor gets loud and all the people behind him get angry and start throwing things, which do neutral damage. So Zohar here is our first dual attribute boss that we'll be fighting. Luckily, we only need to get them down to 500 HP before they call the battle off, and they're like, well, we'll fight again next time. Another time. There's a little bit of an RNG section here where these motorcyclists will sometimes not hop up very quickly. That was pretty good. another walker boss here, and we can show one of the funny things about walkers that we can do with them. Stop walking, for one thing. Stop walking. Okay, there we go. You can shove them off edges of stuff, and they'll take half their health in damage. This is Goliath, he's a strong man, and he's dead. Now it's time for the first real RNG boss of the game, as this game has a lot of RNG bosses. The gun. The freaking gun. Shoot. Okay, we only got two bullets in, so it can load up to 6 bullets at a time. Either Silhouette Mirage attribute. We want to keep it on Mirage bullets only to reflect them back at it, as it is a neutral type enemy. And depending on the types of bullets it loads, depends on the types, like the little creatures that fall into it, depends on the types of bullets it shoot out. Again, only 2. 2, 3, 4. Come on, give me more than 2. That's 1, that's not more than 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least it was a beam. Beams are the ones you want, because they do the most damage, they do consistent damage. Come on, it was only giving me 2 per. Okay, 1 more shot should do it. Really? It just gave me 2 per every single round, except for it gave me 1 once when I complained about it? Oh, gun. Why you must be the way you are. Oh well, now we're on to my favorite boss of the game. Giant, flying, tentacle, catfish girl, go! So Dynamis here, has her arms come out of her body like this, and each shot shooting them down does 40 damage to her health bar. So you just have to defeat as many, arms as her health bar is, and she's being very nice right now. So 3 more, 2 more, and of course as soon as I said she's being nice, she's gonna dive, which means you can't hit her. Two dives? Yep, 2 dives. And all she wants you to do is buy her pretty freaking flowers. That was a decent Dynamis. Yeah, she's a great design. All the boss designs in this game are very good. All very unique. And all very unique in the methods you use to defeat them. Because if you thought that was a unique way to defeat a boss, you haven't seen anything yet. Just buy the flowers. Buy my flowers, messenger. Pretty freaking flowers. As a general rule, I don't purchase flora from giant homicidal flying fish. That's a quote from the English version. So at this point of the game, it starts giving you both Silhouette and Mirage enemies to face, kind of upping the difficulty a little bit. But, you know, I've been playing this game for almost 20 years. Actually, I've been playing the game for over 20 years. It came out in 1999, and I got it early 2000. So I've had a copy of this game for about 25 years now, and I've been speedrunning it for almost 20 of those. So going up here is faster because you don't need to wait for the wheel to destroy the floor below you. Although if you go down, there is a secret shop down there if you're like just playing around and want to find all the secret shops. And you want to dash here because, or crouch dash here because you want to unlock the camera away from you and the wheel. So we gotta turn away and stand still for a little bit because this guy's shy. He just wants to be our friend. This is Pablo. Oh no, wait, he isn't friend. So funny thing, in the US version on the PS1, you can just grab him and punch him into the right-hand corner and he won't do anything. He just forgets how to boss. This is the smiley face from Heck. Really, he's a giant lizard. So what you do is you just shoot the smiley face part of it, either Silhouette or Mirage, so it changes into red or blue, and then the main body will appear doing different attacks depending if you change it to red or blue. And when the main body appears, you can shoot it with the opposite color. I'm glad you liked that quote. One of my favorite sayings. He just forgets how to be an enemy in the game. And we think we're going to the next area, but no, wait, it's Zohar! Hacking into our travel nexus. And when they try to delete the Nexus, they end up saying like, oh, you're gonna get deleted too, but luckily Moses here is able to hack back in and get us just in time. Something like that. It's been the last time I read the plot for this game is when I played through the retranslation for the Sega Saturn version, and I believe it was something like that. Now we're on to the next area. What a cute little town! And then we get hit by a car. Cute little towns can be dangerous. why do I like the Sega version versus the PlayStation version? This one, the difficulty in this one's lower. Also, I have a turbo controller for my Saturn, and the graphics are better. That's why I prefer the Saturn version over the PS1 version. That's why I also recommend, if people want to play this game, to play the Saturn version, especially now that there is a fan translation out of it. That isn't just porting the Working Designs translation to the Sega version, it's actually a proper fan translation of the Japanese text. That I highly recommend seeking out and giving a shot, because this game is really awesome, and it's criminally underplayed. So this boss here is kind of an auto-scroller. Every certain thresholds, when you damage him, the car will turn. And then once you get him in this section to under 50 HP, it'll kind of lock into heading to the right, because it needs to be heading to the right for the stage to end. So right there, that jump. I stopped firing there because he won't take damage during that jump, because the game is, like, thinking. I'd say this stage here has the most creative bosses out of all of them, in terms of either the ways they attack or the ways you do damage to them, or both, actually. All right, we're gonna cross our fingers here. Okay, no soft lock. The game can soft lock there. It has happened to every speedrunner of the game. There's, I believe, 4 people on the leaderboard, and maybe not the 4th person, but at least the top 3 runners. I have the third place time, I believe. The top 3 runners of the game all have had the game soft lock at that point. So here's the Shadow Master Faust. He attacks with shadows, but he's a generally weak. Could you get on the other side, please? Thank you. He's generally weak, especially if he does that and forgets how to attack. So he has different shadow moves like a dragon, a giant laser, a tank, and you just want him to stay on the right side and not do any of that. Alright, here's the hot bunny girl. Oh, wait, it's just a cardboard cutout. Phew, okay, we got her. You want to get her in one round like that, because pulling the slots takes so much time. Come on. We'll take the money even though we don't need it. See you next week! Now, for the next RNG boss after the gun, although every boss has a amount of RNG to it, there's three bosses in the game that have a maximum amount of RNG to it. So, I heard you're at Soup. What are you doing at the soup store? We're fighting a boss at the soup store. So Delilah here in the back will every so often either raise his hands up and say something, or he'll sniff. We want him to sniff as much as possible, especially when there are silhouette colored bubbles in the air. And he will take damage as long as there are silhouette colored bubbles in the air. And he sniffs them in. Just like that. And to change the soup to Silhouette, we need to be tossing the enemies inside of it to make it a nice Silhouette pumpkin soup. Every time he takes damage, he will reset the soup back to neutral with his salt, because he gets salty about it. So it's just hoping that, and every sniff he does 8 damage to him when he takes damage. If he inhales Mirage Bubbles, he will gain Spirit. When he gets to his max Spirit bar, he will fire a giant nose beam at you. You just hope that most of the enemies come by on the left side. I picked the left side just because my muscle memory is better on that side for punching the enemies in. At least in the US version, I don't know if he does it. I haven't played. Maybe also in the Japanese PS1 version. I only have a copy of it on PS3 from the downloads back in the day, and I haven't played that in a long time because it just has bad loading times. He has another move where he can salt the soup at any time. Needs a little salt. One more sniff and he'll be gone. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Come on, there's bubbles in the air. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Don't just stand there and do nothing. Sniff. Sniff. I underestimated the power of soup. Which is actually the second time that a Working Designs game used that line, as I found out when I played through Popful Mail earlier this year. There was a boss in that also underestimated the power of soup. Here is what I like to call in my splits, this is where I reset. Because this area is extremely RNG heavy in terms of both of its first two bosses, really. The last boss is pretty much a standard boss where you just shoot him until he dies. But the first two bosses are neutral, and that means you can only reflect at them. I actually turn off my turbo here because it makes the game lag a little bit. We go to the left here because there's only one text box. In the US version, you go to the right because there's only one text box. So you want to go up, you want to go down, and you want to get the spider. Ow. Ow. Oh, I missed. Come on, grab me. Thank you. 2 HP, really? This'll do 8, so. What you really want him to do is shoot those webs out and then get stuck in, and then just sort of stand in one, and it'll drain his HP to nothing. Right, and this is the robot boss. This boss is the heaviest RNG boss in the game. Alright, we did damage on him. Again, he is neutral type, so the only way you can damage him is by reflecting shots at him. And if he's just gonna jump around or walk around like this, then we're not doing damage to him. Or he'll just do that. You want him to do this. And then stand still and do that. Yeah, just like that. Stand still. Just like that, dude. One more. Alright, we almost got him in 3 shots like that. 12 HP left. Come on, shoot me. No, shoot me. I grabbed him during it. Oops. Alright, I'll see iframes, or moves. That was gonna kill him, but he moved. Reflect and grab are on the same button, so that's why I grabbed him by accident. Nice, we got him on a random shot back. Really, you want him to do the grenades move, like, 3 times in a row, and he just stands still and does it again, and he just gets his HP sapped down there. Yeah. Yeah, talk about forgetting you're in a boss battle when he just stands to the side and jumps like that. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna stand here and jump. I'm just gonna stand here and jump, and jump, and jump. Alright, now we're back to standard bosses. Good, just hold still. Oh, perfect. That was a perfect Megiddo there. Beautiful. He stayed still. He didn't do burning arrow. He didn't jump up in the air. He didn't make lag. Why can't I get that in a run, huh? Now if we were fighting 2 walkers at the same time, this is also a little bit of RNG because of the what moves they're gonna use. And if they're gonna be nice and get off to the side like that so you can knock them over. Because although we can't see it, there is a cliff on that side. That would be a really good supervillain power, just to create lag whenever you attack or something. That room right there is the one room where crouch dashing is required to get through the room without taking damage. Only room in the game. So if you thought we were done with the creative bosses, we're not. This is Gargantuan. He is a giant trash compactor dragon. And that is a bad roll for the first enemies to drop. Alright, we got one. So right now he's silhouette colored, but if you notice, I can't shoot him. He's in the back layer, and I can't shoot him. But he's ravenous, by the way. And he's got little grabby hands to grab onto stuff. Stuff meaning the enemies that drop from the ceiling. Also, his health bar spawned this time. I have a clip on my channel, if you go look at my channel, shill, where his health bar didn't spawn. We'll go for 3 this round. But he's taking forever. So once he gets 3 or 4 enemies in his stomach, the lights will come on in the back and he will squish them down. He will then change to that element of the enemies that he ingested and take damage as long as they were the opposite. I don't know if he heals if you do the same ones. Nope. You let go of that. But we want to keep him so that he's only eating enemies of the opposite color. His AI will go towards enemies that are the same color as his wings. Come on. Grabby. And now grab. Okay, you grab as soon as it dropped. Nice. You can shoot enemies out of his hands as long as they're not spinning. Once they start spinning, they are in the backdrop and you can't shoot them anymore. So we're gonna get 4 this time, which is what we want. You need to have a total of 10 enemies for him to eat to end the battle. Each enemy does 30 damage to him. So 3 more and we're good. Come on. Enemies will follow you around, so you just need to lead them to where his grabby hands are. It's very frequent that people will get to this boss and then not know what to do because they don't know how they're damaging him or they're just not damaging him at all. I've seen people get stuck here before. Yeah, we'll give him 4. We'll give him an extra treat. Why not? He grabbed him at the same time, so I'll let him have it. Recently in my runs, I've been losing like 30 to 40 seconds at this boss for some reason, and I don't know why. So I'm just gonna say it's lag. Because this guy creates so much lag. And he's done. When suddenly Zohar. So this Zohar battle is a little bit different than the rest. We're on a 2-minute timer. And either we had to stall out Zohar or defeat them before then. And this determines a path split in the game on what bosses we're going to fight. Could you die, please? Thank you. 15 seconds is good. You want 15 or under seconds in this fight. So if I had timed out the timer instead there, we'd be fighting a different boss next. We'd be fighting Seraphim, which is a giant butterfly with the wings being 2 different colors that you shoot and has a lot of iframes and takes forever to go down. But instead, we're going to fight Zohar's true form, Cypher Zohar. So in the US version, as you can see there by that clinking, you can't absorb or reduce Zohar's spirit mana at all. So you can't absorb it in the US version, but your weapons will always continue to take your own spirit. So no matter what, you're losing spirit in this battle in the US version, which makes it very, very difficult. Okay, that's fine. I can take the death here. You get 9 continues, so. Uh-oh, pants lasers. Alright, little slow Zohar. You want to defeat them before they have a chance to transform again. So you want to do it in two transformation rounds. But we did it right after they transformed again. And they unfortunately explode into math. Hitboxes. Alright, let's pick the right option this time, because I didn't do that last night on a run. There we go. If you pick the left option, you go to the good ending boss, which is two phases where you need to first destroy a bunch of normal type enemies, and then there's a standard dual type enemy at the end. If we pick here on the right option, we get the quote-unquote like medium ending is what I call it, and Megiddo's going to be rude this time. It's going to be extra rude this time. And you fight Megiddo again. Alright. Now for something that we've never seen before. I'm gonna switch my weapon here. Could you stay up here so I can shoot you? There we go. And time. 42. Sub 45 is good. Yep. That's what when I'm pressing ABC all at once, Parasite Bomb is the easiest way to take Megiddo down because it is, you're not getting taken damage because all of his attacks will reflect back. All of his attacks are like widescreen damage, and he reflects back at you otherwise. And it's just kind of guaranteed damage at him, so. Pretty good run. The record is 38, 39 something, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. I have like a 40-39 or something close to that right now. I almost got a 39.03 last night, but the robots destroyed it. I was on pace for 39:03. But let the credits play out here, as we can see the nice little scenery of the world and everything. Yeah, I always blame the robots. So once again, I'm Kariohki. I've been a speedrunner since 2006, so I've been around since the SDA days and early GDQ days. I stream 3 to 5 times a week on my channel, both speedruns and casual runs. This week we're going to be doing some Shepherd's Crossing on Wednesday and some Okami on Friday for the holiday weekend. So you want to see me play Wolf Game for the second time, come tune into that. I am Kariohki on pretty much every social media there is out there, so please follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, and Twitch, of course, Twitch and YouTube as well. I stream on both Twitch and YouTube. So, yeah, please follow me and do all the fun things. And also keep watching this marathon. There's a bunch of great runners to round out the last day of it today. And yeah, I had a fun time playing two of my favorite speed runs on the Saturn. And yeah, shout outs to the Saturn crew and everyone that runs Saturn games. So thanks again for having me.